I got invited by Martin Short. Like, do you want to come have dinner with Steve and I are going to have some caviar and champagne the night before the 50th, to sort of pregame. And I thought he was joking about the caviar and champagne. And I show up and it's the two of them there and you're there too. Yes. And I don't know about you, but I will never be jaded about Steve Martin and Martin Short. Do you know what I mean? It's and so I was just, I think like you, just happy to be there.
Yeah, I just happened upon, I was walking out and they were like, hey, we're going up to have dinner. They didn't tell me you were coming, and they just said, we're going up to have dinner. And I was, and they're like, and I was actually funny. I was going to meet Spade.
Yeah.
And then you're like, all right, let me go out there. And like, I just went out there to sell them a little bit. And I'm kind of like, I gotta get out of here. Like, but it's crazy because you're just talking to Steve Martin Short, and then Conan, then you come, and then you're like, I mean, it's just sitting there. You're like, this is the most surreal dinner. I've never had caviar. That's the first time I had caviar.
I'm not a fan of caviar. I don't know if you were. Did you like it?
I liked it there, but I could have been swept up in the moment. I'm not against.
It's off brand for you.
Yes. And I could have just been in that moment being like, it's the best thing ever. Look, if you think I'm old, there's people older than me still around. Yeah. That's crazy. It's crazy. Walking around. People from the 30s. My great Aunt Helen, from the 30s. She's deaf. They didn't know she was deaf until she was 9 years old. That's how long it took them to figure it. Deaf, one of the easier ones to figure out. And the doctors were baffled as they smoked in her face. And they're like, I don't know, she's rude, I'll tell you that.
And that's claustrophobia. It just kind of ruins everybody's time. It's what's funny, the panic of claustrophobia is pretty funny though. I mean, it's not funny when it's happened to you, but how quick you go from normal to just an insane person is just, it's all at the same time. So it's all kind of new to me, so I forget I have it. And I'll put myself in a situation and I go, there it is. I got an Uber once with like 7 people. And so we get in, I'll get in the third row trying to be a good guy. And I climb in the back, they put all the seats up and it just starts hitting me. And I mean, I'm back there, you're like, just trying to be normal, you're not talking. And then you just go, hey, you think you could roll the window down? You know what? Can everybody just get out of the van real fast? I mean, we're just driving down the interstate. Hey, could y'all crack the window? Do you mind if I drive the Uber? Do you think I can drive it?
I'm married. It's fine, I've been married for 7 years, and we have a 10-month-old, so it's getting pretty serious. So I lived in New York for 8 years, and so I just moved to LA. But when my daughter was born, she was supposed to be born like when we were living in New York. But I flew home, and she was born in Tennessee, because I did not want her to be born in New York. Like, I don't need her growing up thinking she's better than me. So yeah, I was like, you start where we start, all right?
My dad is a magician. He's done that my entire life. He was a clown at the very beginning, just in case you're like, how do you get into something like that? He goes clown then magic. There's 2 steps. You can take them in either order. I was born, he was a clown. It was never weird to me. I thought everybody's dad was a clown. My first memory of my life is I was 5 years old, and I remember my mom walked me out to the front yard, and my dad pulled up with this old red Mazda. He's dressed as a clown. That doesn't even faze me. That's just how he left. How else would he come home? And the Easter Bunny was in the passenger seat. That's the first thing that I remember to my life. If you want to know how you get into comedy, that's a pretty good nudge. And I remember it didn't fit, the Easter Bunny head didn't fit in the car, like he couldn't sit normal, so his head was bent to the side. And I remember he had his seatbelt on, and he's just like, and I was like, I like to think about all the other people that saw that just in the car next to him, just at a red light. You're like, I didn't even know they hung out like that. Me and my wife fight a lot, like normal, like normal fighting. It's easy to fight when you're married, I think. Marriage and prison are the 2 easiest places to start to fight. Everybody's really tense and on edge. No one remembers why they got there. My wife will get mad like when I hang out with my buddies. She's always like, oh, you always have so much fun with your friends. You always laugh with them a lot. You know, you never laugh that much with me. It's like, yeah, I hang out with professional comedians. It's a pretty good time, you know? Like, they make jokes, new jokes every day. She doesn't make jokes ever. She makes a lot of lists. She does do lists, though. We got married on Friday the 13th. Got a pretty sweet deal on that. They were wide open. We were like, what times are available? They go, every one of them, all 24. You can call us that day if you want. Her brother married us. That was free. The photographer was just a buddy of ours that had he just bought a new camera. So we were like, you gonna do our wedding? Never done anything professionally, and it showed. His camera stopped working during it, and he started taking stuff out of it. Like, that would be the problem. Like, it's like, yeah, you know what? I bet they put too much stuff inside of it when they built it. You should yank some of those wires. That's not supposed to be in there like that. My wife's always around, too, I feel. Just always, like, near, you know, especially about home. It's like I married a cat that I'm like, you just always on me. If I if I go to the bathroom, she's like, I'm going to paint the bathroom door while you're in there. I'm like, you couldn't do it later? No, I had all the time to do it. I thought I'd wait till you went in. And that's when I was going to start. If I eat something she doesn't approve of, she just pops up, man. I mean, I'll try to sneak it. I could eat an Oreo cookie in the attic at 3 a.m. And I would bet my life a light would cut on and she'd be like, what are you doing up here? And if I questioned it, it was like, what are you doing up here? She's like, I'm always up here. This is when I do my attic stuff. An old man walks up to me and goes, Olivia? He was looking for his elderly wife and saw me with no shirt on at a car that he does not recognize. None of this is enough to not make him say it. He was like, Olivia? I covered up and I was like, what's that? And he was like, all right, honest mistake. I was like, God, that hurts worse than saying Olivia. I don't know who he offended more, me or Olivia. I think we could both have a word with him. I'd love to meet her. Inside a building, that's all you want, you know? One of the last kind of bombs I had, I was doing it. So as comedians, we do a lot of corporate events. And I was doing this corporate event in Tampa, Florida. And it was for this guy. He ran Tampa's electricity or something. I don't know what anybody does. But he invented the electricity in Florida. So, yeah, he's doing real good. He was a very nice guy. He's very generous. He was all his employees. He was raffling off 2 cars. He gave away a bunch of TVs, iPads. I mean, honestly, probably $100,000 worth of gifts he was giving back to his employees. Very nice. Well, I was one of these gifts that he was giving back. So in the middle of giving this stuff away, he stops and goes, all right, got a big surprise for you. Can't believe we got this guy to come here. And he brings me out. I mean, nobody's heard of me at all. I mean, they're all looking at it like, I think I could get this guy to come to my house. I mean, who is? I start doing my act. I do 1 hour and just 0 laughs. I mean, nothing. And I'm not doing new jokes. I'm doing the greatest hits. I told the iced coffee with milk story 3 times. I kept just doing it. I was like, all right, I'm going to do it one more time. I don't think y'all were listening. People were leaving. The guy that drove me asked someone that left, and he just goes, hey, is the comedy show almost over? And the guy goes, I don't even know what you're talking about. There's a guy giving a speech up there right now, so maybe after that. So we get done, and then the guy comes up. You know, I have to talk to him. And I was like, look, I'm sorry, man. I used to be able to do comedy, and I lost it. You know, it's over. And he was very nice. He goes, no, it's all right. Nothing's your fault. And I was like, all right, I don't know how that's possible. And he goes, well, when you were up there, I remembered that most of my employees do not speak English. And I was like, all right, yeah, they'll do it, you know. Maybe don't hire an English-only speaking comedian. No heads up at all. Not that I could have changed it up, but it just would have been nice to know, you know. All seriousness, though, global warming, we gotta stop it. Or more of it. I don't really know which way we want to go, but it can't stay warmer. I know that. It's got to be one or, something's got to happen. Something can't stay where we're at. So go, I don't know what direction you want me to just go. Let's use this as a platform for global, guys. I felt like, as a spokesperson for all of Earth, all right? I think I'll give you a message that I don't think no one will give you. And I'm here to say that we're doing fine. So just relax. We're doing great. All right. I did some research. And I was like, let me look at the other planets. Let's see how good they're doing. And I don't want to, I mean, it's unbelievable. They're nowhere right now. I went up to this guy and I was like, hey man, do you guys sell hammocks? And he was like, what's a hammock? And it threw me off enough that I was like, am I saying it wrong? I was like, I think I'm saying it wrong because you know what it is. And I was like, is it hammock with a T? Does that sound right? Like, do you guys sell hammocks? And he was like, we're out of hammocks. We're out of them. It's hammock season. And I left, went to my car, Googled where to buy a hammock. And Google was like, do you mean hammock? I was like, I sure do, Google. Where were you at during all of this? I travel all the time. And if I fly Delta, if I buy a ticket through Delta's system, my name in their system is Nathan. And on my license, my name is Nathaniel. I do not remember making this decision. It's a big deal. You can't just change it. I've tried. I've asked Delta if they could change it, and they're like, we can't change it. And you're like, then I don't know. I don't know where we go from here, you know? If you can't do it, who can do it? I mean, is that why people call senators? Do they do it? I don't know. What you have to do, you have to mail your birth certificate in. Some moms give their children their birth certificates. I've never received mine. I thought I was the proof of my birth. And you got to mail it in. I've never been a big mailing in guy. I've mailed maybe 4 letters my entire life. I just never done it. Stamps make me nervous because I don't know how many you're supposed to put on. Where they're going to be like, you should put one more on. And they changed the price of stamps, and that's not in the news, you know. You don't find that out on Twitter. You have to find out from old people. They're the only people that know. They keep up with it. They're like, stamps went up. You're like, okay. All right. Is it $100? Like, they're furious. They're like, is it $100 a stamp? It's 3 more pennies. So I will never go through that process to get my name changed, so I just deal with it. And it gets... My parents are getting older. So my mom, we had her go pick up our daughter recently at a friend's house, and I texted her the address. She drove to the wrong house. So she knocked on the door, another grandmother answered. Well, this is not good. This is like 2 dogs seeing each other through a fence. They're going to be there for a while, you know? So my mom, she knocks on the door. My mom goes, is my granddaughter in there? And that lady goes, I have 3 grandsons, so no solution. Just 2 grandmothers. Just, do you have stuff? I have stuff too. They talked for 30 minutes. It's a wrong door. I had to go get my daughter, then find my mom. I was in San Francisco, and I bet there's a bunch of fun coffee places, and I live in my dumb world that I just want this one little drink. So I go into a Starbucks, and I get to the front, and I was like, I'll take an iced coffee with cream. She goes, with cream? I go with cream. And then she goes, iced coffee with cream? I go, iced coffee with cream. She goes, with cream? I go with cream. And she said it one more time. She said, so iced coffee with cream? And at that point, I should have said, what's going on right now? Where are you at in your head? Because I feel like we're in 2 different places. But I was nervous, and there was people behind me, and I was like, cream or no cream? Honestly, I'll give you $20 if you let me leave right now. I cannot, this is the most I can talk about this. I don't even know what's happening anymore. So I paid. I go stand in line, you know, where you got to wait for your drink. There's like 5 of us waiting for our drinks. So she puts the iced coffee up there first, no cream. And I was like, whatever. I'll just do it myself. You know, like I don't like doing it myself, but I was like, all right, I'll just do it. So before I could get it, she's walked back with a can of whipped cream and she's shaking it. And I'm just looking at it like thinking that's someone else's. I'm like, someone's getting whipped cream. That's fun. One of you guys are getting whipped cream? And I look down and she starts spraying the whipped cream on top of my iced coffee. She just yells out, iced coffee whipped cream, yells it out. The other 4 people, they turn their back. Like, they don't want you to accidentally think that's what they ordered. And I'm just left alone, like, that's what you thought I said over there? You don't think I would have said iced coffee with whipped cream? You think I'm just some nut job? It's like, I've had too many problems in this Starbucks, so I'm going to use the words that I want and no other words. Iced coffee, whipped cream cup. And they didn't have a top for it, so whipped cream, it doesn't sink and become less embarrassing. It moves. It's like a buoy in an ocean that everybody sees. And I'm just walking through the crowd like, this is my favorite drink. I don't know if you guys drink this at all. Is anybody? Nobody does this? I'm surprised. And I walked outside and threw it away and tried again. People always talk to me very easy too, or dumb. Like if I talk to a stranger, I can always feel it. And I think it's my eyes. I have big eyes, you know? And so I just get a lot of like, you still with me, man? And I'm just sitting there like, yeah, man, I'm listening. He goes, all right, I don't feel like you could be anywhere.
Pretty dumb guy. Just, I don't think it's pretty obvious. And I think, I've thought about like time travel. Like if I went back in time, knowing everything I know now, I don't think I would make a difference. I don't think you would even hear about it. If I went back to the 20s and I like saw some guy on like an old phone, I'd be like, hey, eventually they have phones you just carry in your pocket. And he'd be like, yeah, how do they do it? It's like, you know, I mean, I don't know. It's like a satellite or something. And they'd be like, what's a satellite? Well, I shouldn't have even brought that up then. I don't know how they're doing it. It's like a round metal dish or something that got to go pretty high in the air. I honestly don't think I could prove I'm from the future. I mean, they would want some proof, you know? Who's the next president? Oh, boy.
He goes, hey, this kid fell. Can you carry him up? So they carry me up. And my mom's in an ambulance in her pajamas. My dad, who I think everybody knows now is a magician, and he's doing a show in a full tuxedo. So when they get to the hospital, the doctor starts talking to my parents. I mean, my mom looks homeless. My dad's in a tuxedo. It looks like they're divorced and someone's not paying child support. The dumbest I've ever been talked to, I like to golf. And so a guy was telling me there's a real golf course in North Carolina where they have llamas or the caddies. So if you don't know anything about golf, I mean, you know, a caddy usually carries your bag around, tells you how far you are from the hole, and helps you out. So this course, they have llamas. So you put your golf bag on a llama, and it carries your bag. So he told me that, and then he looks into my big, dumb eyes, and he goes, just so you know, llamas can't talk, though. I mean, that's the question he was trying to get ahead of as he looked into my stupid eyes. Like, he just feels like, I'm going to say it so that guy doesn't have to say it. Like, I'm just at the zoo talking to the giraffes, just, hey, where are you guys from, you know? I know where you're from, but where are you from? You know what I mean? So I'm 41 years old. And when I turned 40 was the first age I did not want to turn. I remember my parents turning 40. It just feels old. And it's also the age that you do realize everybody you're talking to, you are older than. Before you're 40, I think everybody you talk to is your age. And for some reason, when you turn 40, you're just older than that person. I'll just be talking to them like, remember that? It's like 97, 98. They go, I wasn't born yet. You're like, golly, are you serious, dude? In my eyes, we look the same. Where's your dad at? Let me talk to him, because I swear I thought you were my age. One thing I got when I hit my 40s was claustrophobia. Never had it. Actually got it here on the Simpsons ride, which is what's crazy. I mean, we're 100 yards away from where my life fell apart. I rode that ride with my daughter, and we're sitting on it, and we had another buddy, and he has his 2 girls on, and so we sit there, and they pull the bar down, and the bar, my leg gets stuck in the middle, and it just opened a door that I never knew was there. I mean, it is like a problem. I had to stop the ride. It's super embarrassing to stop a child's ride and just be like, I'm just waving. I'm like, I can't do it. And then they opened the bar and they go, all right, you can do it again. I was like, I'm out, dude. And no one got to ride it because I couldn't ride it. We all had to leave. Yeah, ruined it for everybody. And that's claustrophobia. It just kind of ruins everybody's time. What's funny, the panic of claustrophobia is pretty funny, though. I mean, it's not funny when it's happened to you, but how quick you go from normal to just an insane person it's all at the same time. So it's all kind of new to me, so I forget I have it. And I'll put myself in a situation and I go, there it is. I got an Uber once with like 7 people. And so we get in, I'll get in the third row trying to be a good guy. And I climb in the back, they put all the seats up and it just starts hitting me. And I mean, I'm back there, you're like, just trying to be normal, you know, you're not talking. And then you just go, hey, you think you could roll the window down? You know what? Can everybody just get out of the van real fast? I mean, we're just driving down the interstate. Hey, could y'all crack the window? Do you mind if I drive the Uber? Do you think I can drive it? I tried to, I'm always like trying to lose weight. I had a thing that happened that I do. It was like, I got to get it together. I go to the trunk of my car and I take my shirt off, standing there, no shirt. And this old man walks up and goes, Olivia? I had to turn, I was like, I'm sorry, what did you say? I'm sorry. And he was like, oh, sorry, honest mistake. And I was like, I don't know. He was looking for his elderly wife and saw me with no shirt on and thought that could be Olivia. At a car that he does not recognize. I don't know who he disrespected more, me or Olivia, to be honest. I mean, we could both have a word with him. Look, guys, all seriousness, though, global warming, we gotta stop it. More of it. I don't really know which way we want to go, but it can't stay warmer. I know that. It's got to be one or, something's got to happen. Something can't stay where we're at. So go, I don't know what direction you want me to just go. Let's use this as a platform for global, guys. I felt like, as a spokesperson for all of Earth, all right? I think I'll give you a message that I don't think no one will give you. And I'm here to say that we're doing fine. So just relax. We're doing great, all right? I did some research. And I was like, let me look at the other planets. Let's see how good they're doing. And I don't want to, it's unbelievable. They're nowhere right now. I feel like in a marriage, you have one of you is a dreamer, money's not real. Let's have fun. Let's go do fun stuff as much as we can. And the other person hates fun. And that's how you make a marriage. You can't have 2 dreamers. You're going to be homeless in an hour. You need someone that just walks around. Is fun happening? I'd like to put a stop to that. Are y'all having fun? Stop it. Is the air conditioner on? Turn it off. I married my dad, is who I married. Someone gave me an Under Armour shirt. Do you know those? It's like skin tight. It just shows the worst parts of your body. I look better without a shirt on than with that shirt on. Like in plastic surgery, how they draw like markers on you and stuff? Like they should just put you in that shirt and be like, obviously you can see we're going to go after the target areas. I always tell people I got to get back in shape, but I've never been in shape. So, other neighbor's an actuary. I thought that was with birds. I was like, what's that bird right there? Comedian. I like hanging out with my friends. I got a buddy of mine, his name's Luis Gomez, and me and Luis went to McDonald's to eat recently, and we ordered our food, and then we take our food and we sit down at our table. And then Luis went to the bathroom, so he left me alone with his food. So I was like, I'm gonna play a prank on him, So I grabbed his hamburger, I unwrapped it, I took a bite out of it, then I wrapped it back up, I put it back down on his tray. So that's my big prank. Like when he comes back and opens his burger, I'll just be like, dude, did they eat your burger before they gave it to you? That's crazy, right? Is that crazy? It's a ridiculous prank. It's dumb, it's harmless, it should never leave the table. What should happen is Luis should just come back, he should open his burger, and his first reaction should be to look at his best friend he's sitting with, who, by the way, also dabbles in comedy, and just be like, hey, I just wanted to run this by you before I unexpectedly go freak out on this entire McDonald's. That's what I thought would go down. Just a quick, hey, I wanted to see if you touched my food the only time it was out of my sight.
before I try to fight a group of people that are going to be pretty confused on why they're fighting. But instead, that was the day I learned I'm friends with a lunatic and a guy comfortable fighting McDonald's employees because he opened his burger and he could not have ignored me quicker. Like, didn't even kind of look, like, looked at him so, he looked like he expected them to do it, like it's happened before. And he's like, again with this? He starts screaming at all. He's like, someone ate my burger? How about I'll fight all of you till I find out who ate my burger? So he gets up, he starts walking towards them. So now I gotta jump in. I can't believe it's working. Like, we have gotten so much farther than I thought we could ever get. I grabbed him, I was like, Lewis, I ate your burger. I ate it, dude. That's insane that you didn't look at me. That's insane. So I get him to sit down, but it's already weird. Like, everybody's like looking at us. It takes like 10 minutes for people to quit filming us with their phones. And that's when it hits me. I started thinking about it. I was like, Lewis, you're going to get killed one day. I was like, you were about to go fight it. I was like, let's pretend that I'm not here. Let's pretend that someone did eat your burger that worked at this McDonald's. Let's pretend that really happened. You were going to go blindly fight that guy. Not even try to, like, size him up, like, see what he looks like, at least. Do you really think you could beat up a guy that is apparently pretty confident in himself? That he's making burgers, he's then eating them. He's just sending them out to whoever. You don't think that guy's probably the greatest fighter of all time? I honestly think you'd walk to that McDonald's counter and be like, hey, who ate my burger? And all the McDonald's employees would just part ways. Because they know exactly who you're talking about. And in the very back of McDonald's, you see a guy standing there cracking his neck. He's got his fist in the fryer, doesn't even know it, just sitting there, warming his hands. All right, guys, thank you guys so much. Thank you. Thank you. I love that. That's hilarious.
She had no awareness about her, like the senses that dogs have. Our daughter would put birthday cone hats on her, and one time one slipped over her eye, and it was like that for 6 hours. I was just trying to see how long, like, how's it accidentally not coming off? And she was just going about her day, just eating, drinking, like, yeah, I can't see all that eye no more, all right? That's the cards I was dealt, and that's okay. And then I pulled it off of her, and she's like, oh, I didn't know you were a doctor. And I'm like, I am a doctor. Just two dumb animals talking to each other. I've been doing these drive-in shows, these drive-in movie theater shows, and my buddy Nick Novicki's been with me, and Nick's a little person, very fun. We started a comedy together. Nick's very fun to be friends with. He very easy to trick. We were once at a coffee shop, and a guy was sitting near us with a big husky dog. And Nick just goes, hey, you think that's a wolf? And I just said, yeah, I do think it's a wolf. They just passed a law that if you can catch a wolf, you can have it as a pet. And he goes, should I go ask him about it? I was like, I mean, absolutely. You know, I mean, he wants to talk about it. That's why he brought that wolf out here. And I watched him walk over to him and just go, excuse me, is that a wolf? And the guy, I mean, he didn't really know how to answer it. He said, what? I mean, you think I brought a wild wolf to this coffee shop? And the wolf's just being cool about it? It's not losing its mind right now? When we were doing these driving shows, we were all on a bus together. I convinced Nick that I didn't know who Nancy Kerrigan and Tanya Harding were. Nick is learning this, that I do know who they are. He's learning right now with you. I never told him. I absolutely know who they are. He brought all his references are just 90s sports references. He only can reference the 90s. And so he brings up Nancy Kerrigan and Tanya Harding, and I was like, who's that? He's like, what? You don't know who they are? And I was like, I don't think anybody knows who they are. And he goes, dude, it's like a huge story. It's like figure skating is like a mafia hit. I was like, I've never heard this, dude. Don't you think I would have heard it? I mean, I was like, no one knows this. He's like, he's losing his mind. I go, they should make a 30 for 30 if it's that good. He goes, they did. Another guy's like, they should make a movie about it. He goes, there's a movie. And he's just losing it. One of my favorite ones was, this was forever ago. We're going to a friend's house, and it was a 4-flight walk up. And so we had to walk 4 flights. Obviously, I walk faster than Nick. And I used to wait for him, but we've just been friends too long. I can't. We're like an old married couple. I'm just gone. So I knew where we were going, and I knew that he did not. So I leave him, and I go into my buddy's apartment. I was like, Nick doesn't know where you live. So that's fun, just see what happens. About 30 minutes go by. Nick finally comes into the apartment, and I asked him, I was like, where were you? He goes, I didn't know where to go. And I go, I know. So, you've been gone for a long time. Did you go back outside? He goes, oh, no, I've been in someone else's apartment all this time. He went into someone's, he was just trying handles. And the door opened, he walked in, said, I'm with Nate, and went and sat on their couch. That's how far he made it. Think about where your couch is. That's how deep he made it into their place. And he's so confident. I mean, they had to be like, I don't know, maybe we know a Nate, Once I was checking a bag, and the guy behind the counter, he sees my ticket says Nathan, the license says Nathaniel, and he was like, this is not good. He goes, these names don't match. And I was like, but they match, right? You can see the leap that we took to get from one to the other. And he was like, but they're not the same. I was like, but they're the same. And I'm realizing he cannot find out people call me Nate at that point. I mean, he can't handle that. He's going to call the police over to be like, there's a guy with 3 names trying to fly right here. If you guys want to just shoot him from over there or something. So I was like, what do you want me to do? And he goes, you should go home. That's all I honestly said. I said, look, I'll give you that those names don't match. But what I think is going to help a ton is the picture on the ID. Something that I've always loved that they did. And I think with 70% of that name matching and 100% face, it's 170%. I think I'll get through it. I go to church growing up. I grew up in Tennessee. And we went to church. I actually tried to play basketball for my high school team, but I got cut. So I had to play for my church because the church cannot cut you. They have to let you play. They could cut you. You'd be pretty bad if they're like, look, we think you're good, but Jesus does not think you're that good. He is our captain. So church ball was a lot different because we played half court, no three-point line. We played on carpet. That's your first sign. It's not going to count. And they didn't even give us a basketball. We didn't have a basketball. We would just stand there and play on honesty. You'd be like, I just made it. It was like, oh, that's a good shot. You're really good. I stole it. I forgive you for stealing it. It was moral points. It counts later. It's great having a kid. I've been married for 7 years, and so now we just have a 1-year-old daughter. So it's getting pretty serious, and this is what took it over the edge. We were living in New York when my daughter was to be born, but I'm from Tennessee, so we flew home, and my daughter was born in Tennessee. I didn't want her to be born in New York. I don't need her growing up thinking she's better than me. So I was like, you start where we start, all right? How about that? It's wild. I remember on the way to the hospital, I told my wife, I was like, look, I don't want to see anything, all right? It's going to be gross. I wish it was like the 50s when they didn't even let men in the hospital. But it's not. Now, doctors are like, do you want to deliver the baby? Why don't you do most of it? They just pull the baby out, and then they just tell you, they're here, cut the umbilical cord. They just tell you to do it real fast. I didn't take a class. They just act like I'm the guy that cuts umbilical cords at the hospital. I almost cut the wrong part, and they were like, that's not right. I was like, oh, maybe, you should jump in. You did go to doctor's school for this. I don't know why I'm doing minor surgery right now. And then they just hand you your baby, and they're like, all right, we'll see ya. And that's when you're like, I'd really like your help now. I need you to live with me or something. The first question I asked, they should have probably kept, I was holding her, I was like, how much do you feed it? I bet it's a lot. It seems like it'd be a lot. It sounded like I was buying a hamster at a pet store. The big thing they tell you, the number one thing they say, they're really big on they're like, whatever you do, let's just try not to shake this baby. That's the number one goal. And they tell it to you, they're almost like, obviously you're going to want to shake the baby, but it would be so awesome if you just did not shake this baby. That would be the best. And then they showed me a video of a guy
like that's like, here's what I do instead of shaking my baby. Like he was like, I take walks, for instance. You know, I walk 70 miles a day or something. I walk a lot. Then I signed a certificate, like I was in kindergarten, that said, all right, I promise, I swear to God, I won't shake the baby. Quit asking me about this. I've never heard the word shake so much in my entire life. That's all we talked about. And the first night we got her home, she was like, you know, you're like delirious, you're just confused and tired, and she was like crying for like 6 hours, and I was like sitting there, I was like, wait, are we supposed to shake this baby? Like, is this when we do it? This seems like when you would do it. But we didn't shake her, so it's cool. We have rocked her aggressively, but got real drunk and then locked myself out of my hotel room completely naked. Yeah, I've done that in my 2-year-old daughter's lifetime. So if she hears this and she's like, oh, was that college? It's like, no, that's when you were the most dependent on me. I'm from Tennessee, and I went to college in Tennessee. I went to community college for 1 year, and I don't have 1 credit to show for it, which is worse than not going. Like, if you don't go, you're like, I didn't even want to go. I wanted to go, and they didn't even give me a credit. I had to take remedial classes, which remedial basically means they're like, look, we have no idea how your high school let you leave, all right? We are shocked about it, actually. We're going to look into it. Until then, here are some classes you can take that affect no one. I took math as a class. Literally, I bought a book that said math on it in college. I took reading as well. Yeah, reading. I drove to that class. You know what that's like? I've driven to a reading class. Not even an immigrant. I'm from here. I should have knocked that out years ago. Reading, they're just impressed you made it. They're just like, look who made it today, buddy. You're like, well, you guys. So I was in Florida, and we go golfing. It's very hot, humid, gross. You get kind of feeling gross. So I wanted to change shirts before I drove back. And I go to the trunk of my car, and I take my shirt off, standing there, no shirt. And this old man walks up and goes, Olivia? I had to turn. I was like, I'm sorry. What did you say? I'm sorry. And he was like, oh, sorry. Honest mistake. And I was like, I don't know. He was looking for his elderly wife and saw me with no shirt on and thought that could be Olivia. I had a car that he does not recognize. None of this is making him not. He's like, I don't know. That's a dead ringer for Olivia. And I wake up the next day, and my flight is gone. I mean, I've missed it. And it's not like it's at the gate. It is in Austin, Texas. They are checking into their hotel. So I go to get my phone to get another flight, and I've lost my phone. The night before, I've lost it. So now I don't have my phone. So I have to go buy a ticket over the counter like it's the 50s. And when you walk up to a counter, they don't expect you to be buying a ticket like that. I got up there, and they were like, all right. I was like, I would like 1 ticket to Austin, Texas, please. And they didn't have a flight, so I have to do that at every terminal. I just have to keep going. 1 ticket to Austin, Texas, please. I finally found a flight, but the girl behind the counter, she's never sold a ticket like that. She's like, I've worked here for 10 years, and no one's ever done this. And she goes, I don't know how to do it. And she went back and got, probably the oldest lady I've ever seen. I think she's there for just this reason. Look, I say a lot of dumb stuff. I try to keep it in front of large groups. Seems to go better that way. When you say something dumb one-on-one, it's a lot for that person. I was just honest with her. And I set her down. I said, look, Annie's very sick, and she's older, and she's going to die soon. This happens, so just love her as much as you can right now. And she took it as good as a 5-year-old can take it. So the next day, I kind of told her again, you got to tell kids over and over again. I kind of kept telling her. I didn't want this to be a surprise. And then Annie surprised us by living 6 months longer.
I mean, we were way off on when we thought she was going to die. But I already started telling my daughter I didn't want to stop and then have to start it again. So I just kept it up for 6 months. Every day I was like, she'll die. All right, she will die. She will die. I will die. Your mom's dead. We drive up, we park, and we're walking up the trail. So we're going up it halfway. I mean, I can barely breathe. And this couple's coming down, so I stopped them. I was like, hey, is this enough where we're at? You know, is this like, you get it? Like, we're not trying to live on this mountain. And the lady goes, I'm 75 years old, and I did it. And I was like, all right, maybe that's why you didn't hear the question that I asked. Everybody's pretty cocky on the way down. I mean, there was women with babies. They had 3-month-old babies strapped to their chest. I was like, why would you bring that much extra weight with you? I left my wallet in the car. They looked exhausted. I'm surprised they're not just babies left up there and rangers have to come down. Whose baby's this? That's ours. We're going to let it grow up and come down on its own. We have a daughter now, and so it's getting, 2-year-old daughter. It's getting pretty serious between me and my wife now. And it's, I don't know. I was living in New York when my daughter was to be born. She was not born here, though. We flew home. She was born in Tennessee. I didn't want her to be born in New York. I don't need her growing up thinking she's better than me. I was like, you start where we start, all right? No one gets a leg up in this family. It was wild. I remember like on the way to the hospital, I was like telling my wife, I was like, look, I don't want to see anything, all right? It's going to be gross. I wished it was like the 50s when they didn't even let men in the hospital. But it's not. Now doctors are like, do you want to deliver the baby? Why don't you do most of it? I didn't take a class. They just act like I'm the guy that cuts umbilical cords at the hospital. I almost cut the wrong part. Like, I don't know what it is. And they're like, that's not right. I was like, well, why don't you do it? You did go to doctor school for this. Why am I doing minor surgery right now? I mean, is it cheaper? If it's not cheaper, I don't want to do it. All right?
I don't read any books. I don't do it. And I think that matters. I do think that matters. Reading, I believe, is the key to smart. That's what I've always said. And I don't do it. Because every book is just the most words. It doesn't let up. I mean, every page is more words. It's like, what are you talking about there? Put some blank pages in there. Let me get my head above water for 2 seconds. I want to defend all these kids with peanut allergies. I don't think they get defended. They get yelled at by adults. We got a lot of adults addicted to peanuts in this country, and they're furious. And we just have adults are yelling at these children like they chose it. Like when they were born, the doctor goes, "Hey, do you want to be a nightmare to everybody?" Every scenario is life and death. You ever been on a plane? They just go, "All right, everybody, can't have peanuts today because that loser kid right there." And these grown-ups are booing them. I mean, they're just, the reason I'm on the flight is for the peanuts. I don't even know where it's going. Me and my wife fight a lot, like normal fighting. It's easy to fight when you're married, I think. Marriage and prison are the two easiest places to start to fight. Everybody's really tense and on edge. No one remembers while they got there. My wife will get mad like when I hang out with my buddies. She's always like, oh, you always have so much fun with your friends. You always laugh with them a lot. You never laugh that much with me. It's like, yeah, I hang out with professional comedians. It's a pretty good time, like they make jokes, new jokes every day. She doesn't make jokes ever. She makes a lot of lists. She does do lists though. We got in a fight once over chocolate milk. We didn't talk for 24 hours. What happened is I brought chocolate milk home and she was like, why did you bring it home? And I was like, you're supposed to drink it after you work out. And she was like, that's not true. And I was like, well, there's a commercial on TV. They probably looked into it more than you did. So I decided to listen to them. And she said, that's just the milk people pushing chocolate milk. And I was like, you don't even know what that statement means. You don't know if there's milk people. And I think chocolate milk's doing fine. I don't think they're sitting on barrels of it. And they're like, we got to make up a lie. We got to get rid of this chocolate milk. She went to college, all right, and I did not. But she did not study chocolate milk. When is it good and not good for you? There's a guy in a... You don't want technology all the time. She just sits there on her iPad. She wants to be a YouTuber, which as a comedian makes me furious. She watches all these kid YouTube videos, and now she makes her own videos. It's just her sitting there going, hey guys, what's going on? Click the links below, subscribe, leave a comment. None of this is anywhere but my phone.
I got 90 hours of this. Not on YouTube. Me and her mom are the only subscribers. She just watches kids playing with toys. Like, that's what's crazy. It's not like a show. I'd be fine if she watched a show. She watches just a kid that's like, hey, you don't have this toy? I do. You want to see me open it? It's got 5 billion views. It looks like we buy her nothing. Like, we just show her, if you want to watch a kid have fun, but you're never going to have fun in this house. She runs everything because she knows everything. Like, I don't know any stuff. Like, I don't know how much money we have. Like, could not even ballpark it. I don't even know where it's at. And I don't even know how to get it if I had to get it. What bank we go to? I don't know. Like, you know, I can't get robbed because, like, if some guy's like, let's go to the ATM, you know, it's like, well, I guess we gotta wait for my wife to get here. She can't leave me because I wouldn't know how to get stuff, you know? Like, she can't even die. If she starts dying, I'll die so much faster than her because I don't know what to do. Like, I don't have to call her mom and be like, hey, did she ever bring up bank stuff to you at all? Did you ever talk about that? Or what did she do for a living? Do you know? What was her deal? My dad, too. My dad has surgery 8 times a year, probably. And he loves it. He loves it. He had surgery because he was addicted to Afrin, the nose spray. Look, I've been addicted to Afrin, the nose spray. If you don't know what it is, I would honestly tell you not to get involved. It's one of the best things I've ever been part of. Solves everything immediately. When I was on it too, my wife she'd be like, what's that? No, she hear one puff. What's that? I go, I ain't gonna live like this. I ain't worked this hard not to do Afrin in my own home. So my dad goes to the doctor and they were like, do you use Afrin? And he goes, no. And the doctor was like, I can see that you use it. I was just saying that. He goes, how long have you been using it? My dad said 5 years. But my mom was there and she goes, how about 45 years? 45 years. The back of the box says no more than 3 days. Doctors are so unimpressed with birth. The big message they tell you, they're like, all right, whatever you do, let's just try not to shake this baby. That's the number one goal. And they tell it to you almost like, obviously, you're going to want to shake the baby. But it would be just so awesome if you just did not shake this baby. And then I watched a video of a guy, and he was like, here's what I do when I feel like I want to shake my baby. I take walks, you know. I walk about 70 miles a day. I walk a lot. I've barely seen this baby. And then I signed a certificate like I was in kindergarten that said, all right, I'm not going to shake the baby. They quit asking me. I didn't even think of it till you guys brought it up. I've never heard the word shake so much in my entire life. Like, that's all we talked about for 3 days. And the first night we got her home, I remember she was like crying for like 6 hours and you're like delirious and confused. And I was like with my wife and I was like, wait, are we supposed to shake this baby? Like, ever get in those fights? You and your spouse and you guys are not talking to each other. And you're in the house together, no kids, the house is quiet, and you just stay on opposite ends and then you pass each other in the hallway. That's like the funniest part of it, because you don't live in a mansion, you have one hallway, and you just didn't time it out right, and you just have to walk by each other like strangers. You're like, oh, excuse me, sorry, yeah, no, go ahead. She'll be watching TV, I'm like, ma'am, are you watching this? I couldn't tell, I was going to change it if you weren't watching it. Guys, we're just not good. Guys are not good at marriage, all right? It's not our fault. We weren't prepared for it like women are. Your whole life is built just preparation for marriage. Look at every toy you played with. When you're a baby, they give you a baby doll. So they give you a baby when you're a baby. You don't even know you're alive yet, and they're like, look, I would probably start figuring this out. Like, this is where it's going. Then they give you Barbie and Ken. They live in a little house together. And that is where you learn how to make drama. You get... you get the best. You're the best. Then you would play house. Like you would, like, fake vacuum. Just fake vacuum with your friends. And that was awesome. And it's weird because like when I see my wife vacuum now, I'm like, she is living her childhood dream. Parents have a real fat cat. People point it out, you know. They walk in, they're like, man, that cat's fat. And it feels rude, you know. Like, he doesn't speak English, but we do, so maybe don't say that. And they're just, you know, they're like, what are y'all feeding this cat? You're like, oh, whatever you feed a cat, dude. I don't, like normal cat food stuff. We pour a bowl. And then they're like, well, y'all should do something. You're like, what do you think we're not doing? Do you think he has a gym membership and we don't drive him to the gym? He's a cat. That's his gym membership. He's a cat. I watched him jump from the ground on top of the refrigerator. That's like if I jumped on top of a school bus from the ground. Like, if I did that, you're not going to be like, well, you still could lose a little bit, you know? Just keep doing what you're doing. I also feel this is a good year to see where your friends are at, you know? Like you want to be in the middle, I think. And I got friends that they take a shower with their mask on, and they sleep with the mask on because they have a hamster, and the hamster probably has it, and they live alone. It's just them and the hamster. And I also have friends that I don't think have even heard about COVID. It looks like someone told them to try to go get it. That's how they're living. I have a lot of friends too that they tell me they already had it. They're like, I had it. I had a fever. February, had a fever for a couple hours, so probably had it. I had one friend, he told me he had it in 2015. Convinced. He goes, I had it in 2015. I was the first, and it just didn't catch on like it has now. But you know, we got Annie. Annie was getting put down. She was a hunting dog, and she was terrible at it. And she was bred to be a hunting dog, and she was just like a misfit toy that just didn't do it. She had no awareness about the senses that dogs have. We had turkeys in our backyard once, and I let her out to go chase these turkeys. You know, retired hunting dog, figured that's fun. And we have a very normal backyard. It's not Yellowstone Park. You can see all of it at all times. I push her out, and she just pees and then comes back in the house. Never sees the turkeys. And I'm just looking at her you didn't feel anything? Nothing was going. I sensed it as a human on the couch. I felt there was turkeys outside. You want to take just one lap around, see if... I thought I was going to breeze through security, but I got held up just because the guy in front of me. And he goes through the metal detector, and it goes off. And so they asked him, they're like, do you have anything metal on you? And he goes, I have keys on me, my keys. And we thought he was going to say his knee or hip, just old people have metal in them a lot. And he goes, keys? Do you think that would do it? They're like, I think that would be the number one answer on Family Feud of what would set a metal detector off. Keys? I told him, I was like, look, let's try it with and without it. I'd love to know. Maybe they've been lying to us about this key thing. On a sadder note of sorts, we had to put our dog down recently. And it's a tough thing to do, nothing was wrong with her. I'm just really busy right now. And she was very sick. That was a joke. All right. That was a joke, and she would have loved that joke. So don't you worry about it. That's the type of humor she had. She was a rescue. It's not your labradoodle humor. All right. It's a little darker. One was in high school. I got pushed into a wall head first. And it took them 3 class periods to figure out I had a concussion. That's how much I was bringing to the table. 2 teachers didn't even notice. And the third one was he wasn't facing forward. And that's when I realized he's one of the better facer forwards I've ever had. So I knew. My biggest concussion was when I was 12 years old. I fell down a cliff. But community college is college when they're you're probably staying in your community. So we're going to show you the ropes around town, kind of give you just a lay of the land. I took all remedial classes. I was there 1 year, 0 credits. I was there the whole time. It's not good. I took speech as a class in college. I drove there with my friends. They were going to real classes. They'd go to business math or something. I don't even know what a class is called. Because I was I'm going to speech. I think I'm a different part of the campus. We stay in the same room and our teachers rotate. How about you guys? This old man walks up to me and goes, Olivia? He was looking for his elderly wife and saw me with no shirt on at a car that he does not recognize. None of this is enough to not make him say it. He was like, Olivia? I covered up and I was like, what's that? And he was like, all right, honest mistake. I was like, God, that hurts worse than saying Olivia. I don't know who he offended more, me or Olivia. I think we could both have a word with him. I'd love to meet her, though. The end of the night comes. Everybody's drunk. Children, adults. It's across the board. A fight breaks out. We hear some of y'all fight. And you're sitting there. You got a 50-50 shot. It's not your side of the family. We get over there. It's 100% our side. It's my dad's aunt and an uncle. both rolling around on the ground. They're in their late 70s. He wanted to leave. She did not. So they thought, let's just handle it in front of everybody. She's on top of him. She punches him. He then punches her. And you're like, you can't do that, you know? So we got to get him apart. And he starts fighting us. And he's a pretty good fighter, all right? He's punching women in public. You don't think he's handled some dudes in his lifetime? That ends the night. You know, you can't be like, all right, guys, let's calm. Let's cut the radio back on, find a good station. My parents are getting older. So my mom, we had her go pick up our daughter recently at a friend's house. And I texted her the address. She drove to the wrong house. So she knocked on the door. Another grandmother answered. Well, this is not good. This is like two dogs seeing each other through a fence. They're going to be there for a while, you know? So my mom, she knocks on the door. My mom goes, is my granddaughter in there? And that lady goes, I have 3 grandsons, so no solution. Just 2 grandmothers. Just, do you have stuff? I have stuff too. They talked for 30 minutes. It's a wrong door. I had to go get my daughter, then find my mom. Look, to be honest, I've never taken care of the 1 dog we have, but 2 would be fun.
Động chính là silymarin. Chất này có thể giúp ngăn chặn các độc tố làm tổn thương gan, đồng thời giúp thúc đẩy quá trình sản sinh tế bào mới thay thế cho tế bào cũ, bào gan cũ các bạn nhé. Và theo nhiều nghiên cứu tại Úc, việc sử dụng bổ gan mixed tele có đạt hiệu quả trong việc hỗ trợ điều trị các bệnh về gan, có thể bổ sung cải thiện sức khỏe cho người bị viêm gan, bị gan nhiễm mỡ, xơ gan, ung thư. Ngoài ra, sản phẩm còn bổ sung cung cấp cho cơ thể nhiều dưỡng chất để có thể nâng cao hệ miễn dịch, đồng thời giúp phòng ngừa các nguy cơ mắc bệnh hiệu quả các bạn nhé. Và các đối tượng sử dụng thuốc bổ gan mixed tele, đối tượng trên 18 tuổi, những trường hợp thường xuyên sử dụng rượu bia, ăn đồ dầu mỡ, cay nóng, đối tượng sống trọ hoặc làm việc thường xuyên trong môi trường ô nhiễm. Ngoài ra có thể dùng trên các trường hợp cần hỗ trợ chức năng gan, có dấu hiệu nóng trong người, bị lỗ mề đay, mụn nhọt, những trường hợp sinh hoạt không điều độ như thường xuyên thức khuya, sinh hoạt thiếu khoa học, nguy cơ mắc bệnh về gan, xơ gan hoặc gan nhiễm mỡ các bạn nhé. Để nhận thấy các hiệu quả nhanh chóng nhưng đảm bảo an toàn, người dùng